you guys hear that when it says this meeting is being
Yeah.
It's so funny to me. Anyway, so we're just going to have an open dialogue. If anybody wants to type stuff in the chat about what they took away from SFR, if you don't want to talk out loud, if you want to talk out loud, I want to hear it all. I want to hear what you thought if this was your first one. I want to hear what you thought if this was your 15th one, but I don't think we have any 15 ones in here. I think me and Brandy are the most at 9 here. Because you're almost 9 years, right?
I'm 6.
6. Okay, I knew you were more. Okay, I'll be 9 in December. Sorry, dumb cutting. I gotta stop. I gotta focus. I'm cutting up my little things to put on top of my catalogs too. So anyway, but I want to hear what everyone thought. You know, what you felt, what you experienced, what were some of your aha moments. I mean, I can kind of start a little bit here talking just, I mean, for me, this was my 8th Scentsy family reunion. And I have been to all of them except for one, and I am really having a hard time. I'm really, really missing the in person, the connection, having everything there, having people there. I mean, I love all the training, don't get me wrong, but a lot of SFR is the connection with other consultants and being able to share. And when you go, you meet people that are sitting next to you, and then you start making friends, and then you start sharing stuff about your businesses. You add them on Facebook, and like, I mean, it's just a community. I mean, you go and you don't feel like you're alone. You can talk to anybody, really. I mean, my first SFR, I was so scared, but honestly, I had the best time. And the only reason I didn't go the next year was because I was going through a divorce and I was dirt broke. So I couldn't afford to go. But I really am missing the camaraderie and the getting together. That being said, I feel like they did a really, really good job this year of putting together so many breakouts. Like, I can't even talk about all of them because there are so many breakouts that they've put together for us, and they are all just gold. Like, I have maybe watched 2 or 3, and I want to watch all of them, but like, I just don't have the time. I wish I had more time. That's the hardest part about too. The other thing about SFR is going and like immersing yourself in Scentsy. When I'm home, family always has to come. It's always coming first. Stuff that happens around the house comes first. I'm sitting there trying to watch a training, and Gus comes in and he's hungry now, or he hurt himself now, or I have to go. Oh my God, last week was like awful. We had Avery home. I don't know if I've told you guys, Avery has started working, and he's working every single day. Like, he told them he didn't want to work weekends. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that at McDonald's at 14 years old. But they didn't give him any weekends. So every single day I'm driving him and picking him up from work. And the McDonald's he works at is in the next town over. So it's like a half an hour there. It's like, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back of driving. And then Gus lost a tooth. So his retainer had to be remade. Anyway, like, I felt so sad because I wanted to be, immersing myself and enjoying the Scentsy experience and getting all of this, build up and, getting ready for my year ahead, because this is what fills our cup for the next year. If you've been to World Tour, if you've been to SFR, you know that feeling that you get, and you know how excited it makes you, and that really takes you over the next 6 months till the next event. And when we don't have that in person, when you keep getting pulled away from it, it's heartbreaking. I'm like, I'm still so glad that they did it. I'm still so glad that they put something so amazing together for us, but I really wish I could just be like in it as opposed to watching it. That being said, I really, really love the content that they had for us. If anyone listened to Jackie Kern Lima, the one who was the $1 billion business owner, oh my God, she was incredible. I got her book and I'm listening to it as I drive everywhere. I put on Audible on my phone and I plug it in. And I just love some of the, you guys, my mess is insane right now. I'm organizing my office and it's just bananas. But I love, like, I'm one of those people that will write down little quotes and little things as I'm going through little takeaways. And I really loved some of the things she was talking about. God, you guys, I should have had this ready, but that's just my life right now. How she was talking about what was her quote? Fly girl fly. Where is that? Um know your why and then fly girl fly. I loved that. I loved that. And then also when she was talking about how your authenticity is your superpower and in authenticity will guarantee you failure. I see so many of us, and we're all watching, we're all on social media. You're here, so you have social media, and how there's authentic and then there's inauthentic showing, and if you're not true to yourself, people can see right through that. So that just really hit home with me. Now, speaking of her speech, I loved her challenges. Did anybody else write those down? Her challenge questions at the end of her speech, because if not, I'll say them again. But I loved it. It's something that I want to. I hate the word meditate. It sounds like it just doesn't sound like me. I'm like not like I'll sit and I'll think, but meditate just doesn't seem like me. But she had challenge one was identify the why, beneath what you are doing. Okay. So I went to a training with Allison Dalkey, and she did something very, very similar to this, where she was like, okay, what's your why in your business? And you would say it, and then you're like, but why? Because of this, and then you'd add on to it. But why? Because of this. So that's like a really fun thing. So like, I challenge you guys to write down your why, and then, but why that why? And but why? And just keep digging into it until you honestly can't dig any further. I just thought that was really profound. And then identify what's keeping you stuck and replace it with a new narrative, right? There are so many things that we can allow to be things that stick us in our business. You can make the excuse that you don't have enough time. Girl, nobody has time. Okay. You can make the excuse that you don't have money. Girl, nobody has money. What can I do for free? You can share the catalog online. There are plenty of different ways to do things on the cheap. We've talked about this. If you don't know go talk about go check out one of my budget talks. I love talking about budgets. So believe me, you can do things on the cheap. You don't need to get the big sets of catalogs. If you cannot afford them, go get the product lists. Okay. What else? What are some things that could be keeping you stuck? Write them down, and then write excuses on write why those are excuses. Write down and put it in black and white and be freaking honest with yourself. Okay? Because quite honestly, we can make excuses, the day is long, but when you're getting down to it, if you're not being honest with yourself, who can you be honest with? You have to keep it real. You have to and this is the third thing she said, was to make the decision to believe that you can, right? So make the decision that I don't have time, but I'm going to make it. I am going to spend an extra half an hour before I go to bed. I am going to get up a half an hour early, whichever is better for you. If you're a night person, do the night. If you're a day person, do the day. Whatever works for you. But making the decision to do the things you have to do to get to the place that you want to be in is huge. And we've talked about this before. We've talked about how Dave Ramsey says this, about how Orville says this. Live now like no one else so you can live later like no one else, right? Work your ass off now to create a future for yourself so you don't have to work as hard in the future, right? Okay, so that was one of the things I absolutely loved. Anybody else want to share? I don't want to be the only person talking. I want this to be a conversation, guys. And I know people don't love that, but it's time to get uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable in your business, then you're not growing.
Absolutely.
Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I have one.
Comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep. Vicky, go ahead.
So I had issues with my Wi-Fi last week and it just got fixed yesterday. So I'm trying to catch up on everything. The one that I watched tonight, there was one quote she said, and it I actually shared it with a girlfriend of mine because it fit for her just for life in general. And even for me, and I have a daughter with borderline. But it says, I am the reason I'm not where I want to be.
Sorry, I muted myself. I love that because it's so hard to admit that to ourselves. That like we are the reason we are where we are. And we allow things to get in the way of what we want. Or we allow we allow ourselves to slack. We allow ourselves to be lazy. I mean, this is stuff that we're allowing for ourselves. And do we really want that? You know? Do you know, Vicky, do you happen to know the name of, I want to write that down. Who was the chick you were listening to? Do you know?
I don't. I can probably figure it out. Like I know where it was.
If you just want to like message me or you can put it when I post the
She was the
replay.
one that I didn't write down whose name it was, but I can find it and message it to you.
Yeah, either that or actually, why don't you, so anyone watching the playback or if someone else wants it, put it in the comments of when I post this on the team page.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's really great because I've been listening to a lot of Trent Sheldon too. He is a motivational speaker, and I started listening to his podcast because I'm doing the 62 days to success, and they're like, you need to find someone inspiring to listen to, and he speaks a lot to that, and it's not always fun to hear, but it's so true. It's so heartbreakingly true that we're the ones who either push ourselves forward or hold ourselves back. So thank you for sharing that. I love that.
And that
Brandon, what were you
also,
going to say?
that goes to like the tell factor of why it's so important for you to have a schedule within your business and to use systems that are going to keep you on track daily. Because if you don't have a schedule or a system that you're using, that is going to be your downfall because we are always our biggest critic, but we are also our biggest lagger. So we're going to be the person that's going to be like, oh, it's okay. I'm just going to take today off, but I'm going to work extra hard tomorrow. But you know you're not going to, but you're just giving yourself that excuse. It's like when you're on a diet and you know you shouldn't have that piece of cake, but you're like, it's okay because I'm going to hit the gym an extra 30 minutes tomorrow. You know
And
you're
then you
not,
don't go to the gym tomorrow.
and then you don't even show up. So like that's the biggest thing. Your business is never going to grow unless you show up.
Mm-hmm.
So we are our biggest enemies sometimes, but we have to be our biggest cheerleaders because as much as our sponsors are there for us, our directors are always there for us. You get to a certain point in your business, then there's no one there pushing you along the way. Like we're not there to hold your hand the whole time. We're there to help you have the most successful start, obviously, and to be there to support you through your journey. But we can't do your work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you have to find a schedule that works for you, and do it. Like I'm with Molly. Like I've got 3 kids at home. I'm running my business. I just moved less than a month ago. I've contractors in, but I'm taking a half hour every morning and a half hour every night to listen to all the SFR videos because I don't want to miss out on anything because there's so much amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, for me, this has been the most successful SFR information wise, because I think the up and coming girls and guys that have, hit leadership positions that are really like gunning for stuff that are really big presence on social medias, they have taken the time to do a lot of these videos. And it's like, yeah, girl, it's like everything they're talking about is hitting home. So definitely take the time out, half hour in the morning, half hour at night. I promise you, your business is going to grow. There's no way that it can't. Like,
and don't be discouraged if you don't see it right away.
Yeah.
Because, and Orville has said this, the work you do now will come to fruition 3 months or later from now, even 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the stuff you're doing now, it might seem busy, but you're going to get busier. And that's good. I mean, and this is the perfect time to hit the ground like on fire running, because we have a new catalog coming out. We have a new incentive to earn. There are so many different things to promote right now. And honestly, if not tomorrow, when?
Yeah.
When you start it. And holding yourself accountable is huge. And I love what she said about systems, because you guys, I'm going to be real honest with you. I did not do follow-up until Amy. And that's horrible. And I hate admitting it, because Amy's been around for 3-4 years. So that's 5-6 years. I wasn't doing any follow-up. And I am sick to think of all the money I was leaving on the table, but I just didn't have a good system that I would sit down and I would follow through with. Okay. But now Amy comes up and I have it on my very first screen right underneath Facebook. I have that little app and it says, oh, you have, 15 things you need to catch up on. I can't ignore that little guy. That drives me nuts. I can't unsee the little notification that says I need to check all of these notifications. That is what did it for me. Okay. If setting timers is something that'll do it for you, I mean, to even feel productive, you have to do something pretty much every day when you're starting your business. And if you just want to go ahead and say, okay, I get out the egg timer, or whatever you call it, the little twisty timer that, you put by your oven, and when it dings, you're ready to go. I will bring that in my office. I will set it down and I will set it for however long I want to work for. And when it's done, I can walk away. And I'm like, okay, I can walk away from this if I have other things to do. If I don't have other things to do and I'm on a roll, I'm going to stay there and do it. But if I have only 30 minutes for my business, I'm going to set that timer, and then I can feel okay walking away, because then I'm like, you guys, okay, I feel better. I did something today. Whether I see any fruition from it. If I was messaging people, asking them to host parties, and I don't see anything until 2-3 days later. If I was, sitting here cutting up and putting together my new catalogs, whatever the case may be, just sit down and do something. And if you need to set a timer for yourself, do it. Make sure that you are setting time. Now, speaking as to, 1 second. Speaking to the systems thing as well, I went and printed out, and I shared this on the group page, so you can go and find it. But Joanna Luna made a whole freaking planner for Sensi consultants on stuff to do every day. I printed it out. My 3-hole punch is coming. And I am ready to work. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that she has in here. She has this action statement. Okay, so this is breaking down your goals. Right, one of the first pages. So when you open it up, it's right there. That's awesome. She has in there this to keep track of if you're going to hit annual sales. This for annual mentor. But the thing I love most about this, let me put in here, is, okay, so monthly planner she has for August. I know this isn't on SFR, but I mean, it will all pull back together. So this is like her monthly planner. So you write down all the different stuff, when paydays are going to be, when warmer the month runs. And this is US. If you need Canada, I don't know if she did a Canadian one, but you can always just change it on here. But it says what your goals are. And then at the end of the month, what you actually got. If you don't already take your daily numbers, I do my numbers every single day. If you don't, she has something in here, every number for the month of August. But this is what I like the most. Okay, sorry, I'm just rifling through everything. Monthly business budget, ooh, that one's fun. But for every single day, she has this, a list of what you need to do that day for your business. Boom. Okay. So first day, August 2nd, team day, send messages to welcome new team members. So anyone that was, recruited in July, you send a message saying thanks. For directors, we have a director call on Mondays. Update team binder with the end of the month numbers. Send out birthday or centiversary cards to her team. Email any check marks. So what that means is if someone is going to fall off. So every 4 months, if you haven't sold with 200, sorry, I don't know what it is in Canada. If you haven't sold 200 PRV within 4 months, you get canceled out. You can always come back for free. But anyway, so email check marks. So I would, let's say Brandy, God forbid, was ready to cancel. I would message Brandy and be like, Brandy, just letting you know, if you don't get 200 this month, you're out. And Brandy might be like, oh my God, I wasn't even paying attention. Yes, I need to get that in. Not that that would ever happen, but you're here and I'm looking at you. So there you go. And then send any team gifts. So if I did any, incentives, that type of thing. But there's all these different things. So all you'd have to do is pull this out and be like, oh, it's Monday, August 2nd. What am I going to do today? Boom. And then you can put it away and you're done for the day.
Do you have that in a document that you could share, Molly?
I shared it on the team page already. I can tag everybody.
Yeah. Tag me.
Because she shared it on the director page and I was like, oh, goodness. And I was like, it's 150 pages, but she had it for starting for March. So I didn't print out, or not March, May. So I didn't print out May, June, July, and then just printed out the rest. But oh my God. And then she has places for notes. She has this girl. I don't know if you guys have heard of Joanna Luna. She's come up in the last 6 months of sharing a lot of, she shares everything. She's amazing. And I can't believe that she put this much heart, soul, and love and work.
That's amazing. That's cool. Like fabulous.
Because sometimes you're sitting around, you're like, what could I potentially do today?
150-page manifest.
A manifesto of what you could do today. I mean, there is something absolutely for everything every day on here. I mean, marketing day, create a YouTube video if you're on YouTube. Create, go on, create a reel or create some TikToks. And if you don't post them all that day, just create a bunch of them and then set a timer and say, on Tuesday, set an alarm for yourself on your phone. You guys, I set an alarm for myself all the time. I'll set an alarm, or an event on my phone and I'll say, hey, today's the day you're going to post one of those TikTok videos you made. Oh, that's right. Or, real, whatever. Oh, she's wonderful. Sampling video from her if she was on tonight, actually over on, it's not United We Rise. It was on the rebranding page.
Reimage training group.
Yeah, the Reimage training group. Thank you. And she is talking about all her samples. And I actually bought a bunch of the stuff that she does for samples. And I'm going to be doing a team day with my team that lives close to me of like putting together a bunch of samples. So that'll be fun. But all I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to 3-hole punch this and put this in a binder. And then I can rip out the pages that I'm done with. And then if I want to save pages, like saving if you're doing your daily numbers or whatever. She even has a bulk sampling log of like all her samples that she makes and like how many of them she has and like when they're gone, they're gone. Anyway, beautiful. Totally off the subject of SFR. I'm so sorry, but that is huge if you want to start taking SFR as your I am going to do this moment and moving forward, but you're not sure how to do it. Print this off, right? Okay, you don't have a printer, you can go to the library. You can go to a Kinko's or whatever place you have around you. There's printer places all over the place. And it's all black and white except for the first page or first couple pages. So it should be cheap. And think of it as an investment because it's going to make you money. You stay consistent with this and you are going to make money. I promise you. Okay, I need to go back because Jennifer posted something in here. It was my first time at SFR, so I'm not sure what it's like to go in person. I feel like I missed half of it because life happens. That it was good, but I feel like it was hard to follow along because you're busy with other things while watching. And that's exactly it. When you are at home, distractions on distractions on distractions that are real life distractions, okay? When you go to SFR, when you go to one of these training events, it's not like that. You are immersed, so it's beautiful. But again, you can go back and watch these for the next month. And I think even after that, they post them. I want to say that they say it's for a month, but then it comes again later. Even if it's only for a month, set a timer. Say, okay, every night when I'm just sitting on the couch, instead of watching Netflix, hi, Miss Navy. Oh my God, she's so cute. I'm just sitting there watching
Hi,
Netflix.
everybody. Say hi.
Hi. She's way too cute. So instead of sitting there watching Netflix, pick a video to watch. What's something you want to learn more about? Do you want to become, if you're not confident in sponsoring, watch a sponsoring video. If you're not confident in, leading a team, if you feel like you need to be a better leader, watch one of those videos. Have accountability partners and say, hey, let's each watch a video and then report back to each other on what it was. And if we think, oh, that one was worth watching, I really liked her. And there are more than one person talking on these topics, guys. So if you're watching someone and they are not speaking to your soul, stop watching the video. Go to someone else, because honestly, there are many different ways to do it. And some people they might not be speaking your language. So you're sitting in there and you're like, oh my God, this girl is just rambling on. And oh, she sounds like a drone or whatever. I mean, she's not speaking to me. Go watch someone else, and that just might light a fire. And then if you really, really like that person, write their name down and follow them on social media. Follow them everywhere so that way you can start seeing them and having them inspire you daily. So they're showing up in your Instagram feed, they're showing up on your Facebook feed and giving you life. Because quite honestly, there's so much content out there. Okay. There really is, that I know you won't get through it all in a month. So just prioritize. What are some things you really want to learn about? What are some things that you feel like you need in your business right now? And go from there. Okay.
Another thing
else want to share? Oh, go ahead, Brandy.
Another little bit of advice that I can give is you can take all the notes that you want for this, like SFR, you can watch all the videos, you can do there's so much stuff you can learn about. But if you're actually not going to implement it into your business, you're just wasting your time. Don't even watch the videos, because you're literally wasting your time. So what I highly suggest, if you find somebody that speaks your language and everything that they are saying is bam, 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 and you're like, okay, I love this person, or I love exactly what they're saying. Do what they're saying. So I watched Ray Spears Anderson's video, and I absolutely loved it. So as she was explaining how to do these things, I was actually doing them, pausing the video, doing that, unpausing, adding that step. Because if you don't, you're literally going to sit with 18 notebooks just laying around, and you're never going to get anywhere in your business. So for me, I watch every single video that's in English, because I don't read subtitles, because that's just not my style. But I will write a note of exactly, okay, Rachel Spears Anderson on Linktree, and then I'll make little notes. At the end, I put asterisks all around her name, and then I'll say gold and done, because to me, that's gold. That's money. What she's teaching me is so good. And then I watch the next video. It might not speak my language, but I still take some notes just in case. So for me, the ones that I've watched so far that have brought a lot of goodness to my cup has been the Rachel Spears Anderson, which she goes by Ray on Linktree, Jackie Duran on Pinterest.
Oh, I love her.
She was just so fabulous. Melanie Patterson about Trello. So Trello is a calendar keeping task type app, which I thought was really cool. I'm a huge Visly lover. So Christy Riddler or Riedler.
I don't know how she pronounces it.
Ridders. She did a really good connect on Bisley. I really loved that. And Morgan Alberry on YouTube. Like those for me so far have been really, really good ones that I'm like, okay, yeah, these are things that I'm doing. And I have went and I've done everything that they're saying, because again, you're going to take these notes and it's just going to be a waste of your time. You're just going to waste your time watching it. So like, if you are somebody who wants to learn how to do Visly, go in and look at the videos that are all Visly and do it step by step for where they're telling you, because then you can be learning everything as you're going. So like, that's, for me, that's my biggest like aha moment, because I was that person that was just taking all the notes. And I'm not kidding you, I probably have 12 notebooks full of notes from SFRs and all these things. And I was never implementing things. I would train my team on them, but I wasn't physically doing it myself. And now I'm like, nope, I'm watching this video. Yeah, the video's 20 minutes and it takes me an hour, but I'm actually getting that step done. And my business is growing because I'm actually doing it.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
absolutely. And that's totally it. You know, if you're not going to use YouTube, if you're scared of YouTube, don't do that one right now.
yeah.
If you're scared of, you know, well, you shouldn't, I mean, whether you're scared of recruiting and sponsoring or not, you should still be watching those ones, because you're only going to get better by being scared. But if YouTube is not your jam right now, that's fine. You know, pick one or two things. Don't pick everything, because then you're just going to overwhelm yourself and drive yourself crazy. Okay. We don't need y'all going crazy. We don't want y'all going crazy. Pick and choose what you're going to do and then build from there. But I highly recommend and I highly agree with Brandy, especially with going into the busy season of fall. If you're not using Visly for your online parties, you should be using Visly. And I do a little bit of where I go live, because I find that when they see you, even if it's just a welcome video in the beginning and then a thank you video at the end, you know, just a quick 2-3 minutes, when they can see you, when they can hear you, when they can, you know, connect with you, it helps your party so much more. It really does. And it feels a little scary, but I mean, all you have to do is go live and all you're doing is looking at your own face. So you don't have to worry about, you know, who's judging you, because, you know, you're not seeing them. You're just seeing you. And that makes it a little more comfortable for me. Okay. Anybody else want to share some takeaways? Anything you liked? Any speakers that you've watched on breakouts? Any of the new stuff that you're super excited about? I mean, it is all up for grabs. Come and chat and share with what you are loving for SFR. I want to know it all. Don't be shy. There's only 9 of us in here. There's no judgment. There's no wrong answer. There's nothing that's going to be, no one's going to think you're crazy for saying a certain thing, because it's your opinion and it's right. So share. Come on, guys. I'm gonna take a sip, because you know I talk a lot and I get thirsty. And feel free to type it in if you don't want to share out loud. I get it. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute. I'm gonna make you guys come up with something. Come on, you can do it.
So I'll start it off, I guess, while everybody is coming up with other ones. So for the people that are brand new, I thought this was a really good one by Lisa Walker. It's creating your story on your PWS. So they always say that within our business, we're all about connections and building relationships and, you know, speaking to our audience, right? We have to, you know who our audience is and kind of captivate them. So when you're building your story on your PWS, she broke it down into 5 steps. So she said, know your audience, who you're speaking to, your tone of voice. But obviously when you're typing, it's not your tone of voice, it's more your ability to connect. So using relatable words. and being positive, and kind of thinking about the type of people that you would want to attract to your business. Number 3, build the message so that they will want to connect with your story, and they will have that kind of aha while they're reading their story of like, oh, wow, she's done this. And, you know, this is the busy life that she's living. I have a busy life too. Oh, well, if she can do it, I can do it. So like that connection. And even if you don't have a busy life, like it could just be like you're, you know, a dog mom of these 8 beautiful poodles. You might connect with somebody that also is obsessed with poodles. And they, you know, read your story on your PWS and they're all for that, and want to connect with you. You also have to think about what platform you're using. And number 5 was be authentic and true and keep the message simple. So I wrote those down because I feel like we do have a lot of new people that have joined the business. And that is one thing that when you do join, people tend to forget to do is put their story on their PWS. Because believe it or not, people go and read it. People want to know about you, and they want to know about kind of how you got hooked into this business. So update your scents. That's another thing that you can do on your PWS. When you're updating your stories, make sure the scents are current, that are your faves. I'm a crazy person, so I like mine to be all, you know, like maybe 2 blue on the outside and 1 white on the inside, or like, I don't know. I like it to look cute when it goes to color wise too. So when people are jumping on my PWS, it does kind of catch their eye. Because, you know, we all have our own branding, so we've got to kind of stick with that. So I felt like that was really good for newbies to kind of take away, because you're going to always want to have your PWS updated and your story updated. So like if you have a baby, add your baby to your story, because they're going to be like, girl, you don't have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old anymore. You got a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old. So like you have to make sure your thing is updated. What else was
Ooh, Becky here says she's super excited for the air purifiers. I'm so excited for those. I loved all the information that they said about it too. Like I wrote all of that down. Like I was sitting there and writing down the times of how long it was going to last and how far it would throw and what kind of size room. Like I wanted all that freaking information.
I love that they did that too, because I know a lot of people are kind of intimidated with the price point. But guys, don't let that intimidate you. Make that be your drive to find those people to host the parties. So if you know somebody that is asthmatic or has allergies or has had a new baby, and they're Scentsy lovers, you need to connect with them to say like, hey, I know you would really love this product. Let's get it for you for half off, because we know that we need 3 half off items to be able to get that for that half off. But don't let it intimidate you with the price, because we know Scentsy lovers. We know there is going to be people that are dying to get their hands on one of those, or 2 or 3. But use the air purifier as fuel to get your parties booked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's going to be huge. You know, if you tell them, hey, you can get these even half priced by getting 3 half priced host items. I mean, that's amazing. Amazing. Vicky says another one I got was closed to open, which basically means don't go to bed until you're ready for the next day. And she already has an air purifier sold. Nice, girl. Nice. I'm the same way too. Well, okay. So for me, I try to get as much done as I can. And if I can't get it done, I have to write it down because otherwise I'll forget it. And I have a little notebook next to my bed because I have major anxiety. And if I don't write it down, I will think about it and think about it and think about it. And then I'm up 3 hours later and it's like I might as well have just gotten up and done it. But if I write it down so that I don't forget about it, that helps me a lot. So I agree with that. That's huge. What else? Ooh, who was excited about? Okay, so I had two girls sitting here with me. Who was excited about that wrap and wear bracelet and that little egg thing where like you could pull out a bracelet and like cut it to like how long you wanted it and like make your own little bracelet. I thought that would be super fun to do at parties. Like you could get one and everyone could make their own bracelet while they're having parties. And you could bring like beads. You could go to Hobby Lobby and get a whole bunch of beads and charms and stuff for super cheap. And like everyone make your own scented bracelet that they get to take home, depending on like what the price point and everything was. I thought that was really kind of fun. Like I thought it'd be something like if you're doing a home party, that would be kind of like a fun thing. Like, and to like, I mean, like to get a charm to put on, you have to like ask a question about Scentsy, or you have to say something about Scentsy, or
That
you
is
know,
a great idea, Molly.
pick a charm and put it on their bracelet, and whoever has the most charms at the end gets a prize or something. I don't know. I mean,
Molly, that is a fabulous idea.
right? Like
Love that.
for fun. And everyone, I mean, a bracelet that smells good and yeah, it might fall apart and whatever. I mean, the charms don't have to be anything super fancy or any, I mean, just getting beads even, I mean, how many beads do people have, lying around, whatever. That could be really fun.
I have a question for that because that was my crazy day when I had all the kids. When is release date for that? Is that just going to be an LTO?
They didn't say anything about it. All they did was just talk about it. That and then the infinity bracelets were a lot like there's the infinity bracelets that are just like the butterfly bracelets we had in the summer collection, but they're an infinity sign. And they did not say what the cents would be for that.
So it's probably going to be like an LTO for.
Probably going to be an LTO, and I'll bet my buttons it's before Christmas so people can give them as gifts or stocking stuffers.
See, I think it's going to be
eating dirt. One sec.
I think it's going to be part of the holiday collection because they were discussing the bricks and everything at that time as well.
That's true too. And oh my gosh, I need to get my hands on that fuzzy fleece. That sounds like it's going to smell amazing, but I'm a big fan of Fuzzy Blanket, of the new Stargazing scent that just came out. I'm a fan of Coconut Cotton. Any of those like blankety, cozy cotton smells, like just
Give your tongue.
Give them to me. What are you doing, Missy?
Well, she's eating dirt out of my plants is what she's doing.
Oh, that's what my niece does too. My niece will be 1 in September, so yeah. She also likes eating the dog food. You look just like Mama. Yeah.
Yeah, dirt.
The glasses came off because she's probably
Pulls on them.
Yep, she says.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so Fuzzy Fleece is going to be awesome. I was loving a lot of the trends. Okay, I'm obsessed with Lindsay. Let's just say this. When she first started with Scentsy back in 2015, I met her at Reunion in Vegas. She's the nicest lady in the entire world. I love her big bows. This was the first time I ever saw her without a big bow. She had the big clips, but oh my God, I'm obsessed with her. And just talking about the trends that we're going to be seeing, a lot of like the cashmere and amber. I love amber scents, you guys. Like who doesn't love that like musky and like Prosecco strawberry? If it's mixed with something. I'm not a big super fruity, but my son Avery is like obsessed with anything strawberry. So he was like, get me more strawberry. The pink poinsettia that they were talking about. But yeah, I was super, super excited about that. Those were some of the cool things. And who is not excited about all the NBC stuff coming? Like Oogie Boogie, give me everything. I saw Oogie Boogie and I seriously started jumping up and down. And my teammates were, I'm like, I saw Huggy Buggy, I saw Huggy Buggy, oh my God. And I messaged a couple of my friends and they want the entire collection already. So it's like, and I get to buy Jack and Sally for me, and I'm giving my niece the Jack and Sally I already have because she steals them all the time. They usually sit right up here. Yeah, they're gone again. And she takes them for like a month. And my sister is very Disney princess. She's not into like NBC or any of like the quirky, weird, like she's never seen Nightmare Before Christmas like completely all the way through. She thinks it's weird and creepy. And then my niece is like obsessed with them. So I'm like, ha, I got one just like me. She just doesn't belong to me. So yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, Carrie, with the egg bracelet stuff, I have Luna written down. Is that the one they had? Yes, Luna was, you're right, that was one of the scents. Black Panther, yes, Vicky. I was so excited about Black Panther. My son was very excited about a full-size Groot. He loves Groot. It's gonna be awesome. What else were we seeing that like, oh yeah, the gnome buddies. The gnomes in the holiday collection, those are going to be so flippin' cute. And I loved too that they were bringing back, well, okay, so they were toting them as scent circles, but like basically like the tree ornaments again. I have been having, we used to have porcelain tree ornaments that they don't do anymore. And I have customers constantly asking for them because they would use them in their cars and hang them from the dash. And then that porcelain just lasts so much longer. And so I'm really excited to at least show them this. Olaf is going to be huge. The Bitty Buddies coming back. Yeah, that Olaf was hilarious. I'm super excited. Okay. And as we get started sort of wrapping things up, all right, I want everyone to either put in the comments or comment online and say which trip they're going to try to go for. Because I know, okay, so right now, if you're on here, you're in Region 1, and our trip is the Alaska trip. But does anyone want to try to get on the Norway or the Oceania trips? The only thing is you'll have to pay the extra travel fee. So like they'll give you what it would cost to fly you to your Region 1 destination. And then if you want to go further, you have to pay the difference. My husband is so excited for Alaska. Like he is ready for it. Becky says she's super excited for Alaska. I would prefer Oceania, but I'll do it someday. I'm definitely going to do Alaska. And I'm going to
I'm totally with you. I would rather do the Australia, but I'm going to be a Debbie Downer right now. I'm kind of sad that it's Alaska because I feel like I've been stuck inside this GD house for 2 years and I want a beach.
You need to let me know if you're going to go to leadership. Do you know where it is, right?
Is it Utah?
Los Cabos.
What?
Leadership's in Los Cabos. I'm going.
What's the date?
I'll message you.
Okay.
Because you have to be a director or above to go. So I'll message you.
But maybe we can room together.
I don't know. Marie might have already called it. But we could maybe see if we could fit 4 people in a room. I don't care.
Totally could. I'll sleep on the floor.
No, you could share a bed with me. I'm not worried about it. So yeah, so if you become a director someday, you have the option to pay and go to leadership. And I need it. Normally I'm like, it's a little extra expense. I don't know if I can afford it. I don't care. I'm going. All right. Tell the rest of us to be in more. Yes. Y'all need to sign up right now. Write it down. You're going to hit director so you can go to these leadership things. And if you do hit director during an incentive period, you get hella lots of points. So you get to go even further on that incentive trip because the top 75 get to go on that Amsterdam cruise, which would be incredible. I always try to push for top 75. I haven't gotten close yet, but someday, who knows? I'm just going to keep working for it.
I wish they did some sort of like every 2 weeks or every week, the list would like refresh as to who is in the top 75, because I feel like it would really make people, it would really make people a little bit more goal driven, seeing like, oh, I'm in, 75th spot, and then the next week they're not, then they're like, oh, I got to work harder to get back in. But
I know it does show up on your workstation if it's just for like if you're in it, like it'll say that you're in the top 75. Because I know they were doing that last incentive period. People would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm in the top. I'm like number 75, and here's where my trip points are at." So then everyone was like, "Oh, okay," or "Hey, I'm at number 60, and this is what my points are at." People would be asking, so it's out there. But I know it's on director pages. I don't know if it's on. I don't know if it's on any other pages. If it would like be shared on the trip page. Patty Knight says she's not going to open up the trip page for another month or two yet. So yeah, but that's okay.
Probably a good thing because everybody will have 1,000 questions.
But you guys, I'm going to tell you this. I just got back from Disney a month ago, and there were people on the trip who had earned it, who had only joined like the February before. There is no reason you saying you're new. There's no reason that means that you can't earn these, because you can. It just means how much work are you going to put into it? Because
I think that it's a lot easier for somebody who's new to earn a trip than it is for, let's say, us directors.
Because we don't get promotion points.
We get no promo points unless we hit a star or superstar.
And the thing is too, is like, you're new, you're excited, you're sharing it with everyone. Everyone wants to join that. Everyone wants to be a part of your team, wants to be, associated with this new fun thing you've got going on. So use that. But these trips are not easy to earn. If they were easy to earn, everyone would get them. But I swear to God, they are worth it. They are so worth it. I mean, if you guys follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, all how we got spoiled. I mean, I was walking on every single ride at Disney. They shut down the parks. I walked on them and that's like unheard of. Okay. And they had food for us, and then they give us presents on top of it. Everything was taken care of. It's insane. Okay. You don't want to miss one of these because you let yourself lag. Because I mean, I feel so ugly saying it, but it's all on you. No one can do the work for you. No one can put in the effort like you can. So it's just, are you going to decide to just get up and do it? I mean, because you need to recruit so many people who are going to go certified. So if you need to recruit, 4-8 people that are going to go certified, that means you're probably going to need to recruit double that, but I promise you, A, the trip is freaking worth it. And B, the money that you're going to make on that journey to earning the trip is doubly worth it. Okay. Think about that. That's car payments. That's a house payment. That's bills. That's, school supplies, for God's sake. We all know that's not cheap. I mean, the list goes on. That's, my best friend, she uses her extra money to pay vet bills because she has expensive dogs. So she's like, hey, extra money, here we go, going towards the dogs. So I mean, we can talk about this next week. Actually, it might be kind of fun to do a trip planning. We'll all sit down and kind of go over how we want to do it. I think that'd be really beneficial because it'll be the first week, so it'll really put in perspective the work you need to put in.
And honestly, like, you do have to have a game plan.
You do.
If you don't have a game plan or a chart that you're, checking in with, it's extremely hard to earn it because you have to know your path and you have to know the destination of how to get there. And honestly, I second it with Molly. So out of the 6 years that I've been in, I've only missed a trip once. And I kicked myself in the butt. It really was probably the saddest thing I've ever did because I sat and I watched everybody else go on all these trips and I was like, I should have been there. Like, I was so close. But I slacked and I didn't put a game plan into place right away because guess what? I was like, I've already earned 4 of these. It's going to be just a walk in the park. It's not. You have to work your butt off every single day during the incentive period and reach out to all the peoples because you want everybody to join your team so that you can get all those sponsoring points. So I love that topic for next week, Molly, because I need a plan.
And I love making the plans. I think it's so much fun. I love looking at it. And I'm not going to lie, you're going to look at it and be like, there's no way I can do this. But you guys, you can. You can. I promise you. I promise you, you can. It just is going to take perseverance. It's going to take grit. It's going to take determination. But once you do it, oh my God, it feels so freaking good. And then you go on these trips and you're just like, I'm so glad that I didn't give up on myself. I'm so glad that I pushed myself for this because the reward is so worth it. It really is, you guys. It really is. All right. Leslie says, reach out to Costco if you don't hear from that guy.
Oh, that's a good idea, Leslie. That's a really good idea. I'm like such a crazy person that like I won't ever give it to Costco
No, I wouldn't.
because I'm like
What
I'm the type of person that I'm like that person ain't gonna get it.
I agree with that, Brandy. I just figured in case you called there and be like, oh my God, did someone turn it in?
Yeah, like I think that's a good idea. I'll call them tomorrow and just say like, if somebody is missing a wallet, this is my phone number. Please tell them to call me.
Right.
And if they feel comfortable, you could do like a third party meetup. Like you're there, Costco's there, he's there, but it will go from your hand to the owner's hand.
Yeah.
Totally.
Is there a driver's license in it, Brandy?
No.
Oh.
That's weird.
My son-in-law lost his wallet a while ago now. But after about a month, and he was just about to start getting everything replaced.